Test, test. Ach so, aber weil meine Freundin, die verkauft das, weißt du, das ist günstiger. Zazarab. Hast du einen Ersatzwort oder was? Ja.
Octagon Fantasy, Europe's first official MMA fantasy league. Free for all fans. Register. Choose 3 fighters. Earn points. Win prizes. And unforgettable experiences. Start playing right now. Free on octagonmma.com/fantasy. Octagon Fantasy League. Who will you choose?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're here with the first part of the press conference after Octagon 77 here in Bratislava. With me, Aiton de Pepe, Konrad Dyrška, Monika Chochlíková, Karol Ryšavý, and also Tomáš Cigánik. Let me start this conference with a very important question that we have very often, because we have Monika Chochlíková here. And she's been fighting for 13 years, am I right? And for the first time today, she fought in Bratislava. So I wanted to ask you, what was it like for you? Hi, everyone. It was a very nice experience. I really enjoyed it. You know, after such a long time, during such a long career, I got the opportunity to fight here in Bratislava, here in my home country, in Slovakia. It was amazing. I know I was on the pre-card, on the prelims, the arena wasn't full, but the fans were shouting like there was no tomorrow. It was a great experience. I remember for my whole lifetime. Thank you for that. And now it's time for the media. Patrick?
My first question goes to Karol. Just talk to us, what did you think of the scorecards? Obviously didn't go in your favor on the split decision.
Nerozumiem, že aké skóre, na aké skóre som prehral.
What do you mean about the scorecards?
Okay.
Okay, now I get it. Well, I don't know what to say about it. It's quite difficult for me now. I thought that I won the first 2 rounds, but I got the information that we got the first 2 rounds. And then before the 3rd round, they told me that we're kind of losing, and I couldn't really wrap my mind around it, because I was really pressuring him on the cage, and I felt really good. There was no damage. I didn't get any damage from him. But, you know, I can't put it back. It was a decision. I congratulate my opponent. But there's one positive about this, that the fans enjoyed it. I've had nothing but good feedback about this. But still, I'm sad about the result, because I thought I'd won.
Over to you, Aiton. The eye poke seemed to affect you a lot. I saw you in the medical. Just run me through, how bad was your vision after the eye poke?
The eye poke was not so bad. It was actually from his high kick. He cut me with his toe in my right eye, and I was completely blinded for the whole fight in my right eye. I saw him double the whole fight. So, yeah, it was more from the high kick.
A
question for Marek. Today we saw you somewhere between striking and MMA. Is there any chance we get to see you in MMA again? Oh, I was expecting this question, and I'll leave it open. If I get a good offer that I won't want to deny, you might see me in MMA, actually. And what would be the offer? Would it be the opponent or the money? It needs to be both. It needs to really be an attractive offer for me. You know, right now, I've been in this fight life for such a long time that my goal now is not a specific success. It's actually gathering experience that I will cherish until the end of my life. So it needs to be something that I need to just say, wow, yeah, I'll take it. Karol, were you surprised by how Aiton was with his cardio today? Because he was fighting 2 weeks ago. Well, no, I wasn't surprised. Because you don't just take a fight when you're not ready. I knew that he was cutting weight for 61, so for 66 he didn't have to cut that much weight. I knew he had a 3-round fight behind him. So maybe his cardio could be losing a little bit, but no, he's a very tough fighter, so it wasn't the case. And he's still strong even in the third round. But as I said, I kind of messed it up. I underestimated the situation, but there's no coming back from it now. But no, I wasn't expecting him to be weak because he fought 2 weeks ago. I knew he would be very tough and that he would go into a brawl. And I really enjoy fights like this. I'm really happy the fans also enjoyed it. Thank you. One more question for Tomáš. At the end of the fight, in the third round, you hit the knee, but then you probably didn't have enough power in you to finish it? Yeah, there was enough power, but then I still hit him with some shots, but it could have been more intense from me. He was really punch drunk already, so I could have gone in more. I had enough strength in me, but it just wasn't enough to finish the fight. Thank you. A question for Karol. You had a very good start. So what turned the fight around that you lost in the end, and what could you change into the future? Well, the breaking point was when he was pushing me against the cage. But in my head, I thought I had a really good defense. I wasn't endangered by what he was doing. It's like, you know, Kinsel against Vemola, when Patrick was defending for 5 rounds and then he won in the end. I could have maybe landed some shots on the bottom, on the body. So my corner in the second and third round, they told me that we were losing. I wanted to get into it. It was kind of a desperate attempt, a Hail Mary, so to speak, try and come back. And you asked me what I would do differently. I would spin away from the fence and finish the job. It's your second fight in this weight category. How was cutting weight, and will you continue in this division? Yeah, cutting weight is fine. It's a little bit more difficult. I used to fight in 70 kilos, but my normal weight is maybe 70, 80, or 80 kilos, 77. I was only cutting 4 kilos, which is quite easy. I still have one more fight on my contract until the end of the year, or until January or February of next year. So I need to be prepared 200% next time to actually get the win and really get the taste for it again. And I need to have better conditions because now I'm on a streak of 2 losses, so that's not ideal. But of course, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And Octagon has such high quality of fighters that you never get an easy fight. It's never like that. No one is an easy fight. Every fighter is a well-rounded, complete fighter, very well prepared. So what I need to do is not to mess up anything in my upcoming fight and just get a clear win. Now a question for Monika. You got the win, but you weren't happy with the win. That's what you said in your post-match interview. So why aren't you happy with your win? I'm very, very critical of myself. It doesn't matter if I win or lose, I always try to find my mistakes and get better in the future. And in this fight, I just couldn't get up to tempo. I couldn't find the opportunities for a good attack. And I was really sorry about it because I wanted it, but somehow it just got to me. I'll have to take a look at the video, maybe think about it in my head a little bit, and to find the answer. So why didn't it go the way I wanted? And then I'll be able to answer. Okay, now I'll ask Konrad. You had a longer break. Some people underestimated you because of that. But how did you feel coming back to Octagon? And did you think that, or what did you think about people underestimating you?
Das stimmt, ich war lange raus. Ich habe aber trotzdem immer gearbeitet, trainiert.
Yeah, that's true. I had quite a long break, but I still kept on working on my tactics. I kept my preparation in all the areas of MMA. And I've had 2 big surgeries, and they were very short breaks between these 2. But whenever I could, I tried to train my striking. When I could fight, I had some fights. It just depends on what kind of injury I'm struggling with at the moment. Yeah, it's true that some people might have underestimated me, but I still worked on myself and I kept going and going further and further. Today I wasn't 100%, but it got me the wind. Thank you. And now question for Pape. 2 fights and 2 wins against Slovaks. So what are your plans for the future? A tournament or an opponent?
I don't know what the plans are for the future. I just like to fight for Octagon. I'm happy to be here, and whatever fight they give me, I will take and just fight.
Ďakujem.
Because
Thank
you're
you.
the hitman, right? Because you're the hitman, right?
Of course, yes.
My question's for Aiton. We've seen a lot of activity from you in the last 4 months, and you fought only 2 weeks ago, and you've got a newborn baby. So what's been the recovery process like, and how have you crammed everything into your busy life?
Can you repeat the question, please?
You're saying that you fought 2 weeks ago, you've had 3 fights in 4 months now, and you've also had a newborn baby just arrive. So how's the recovery process been for you, and how have you managed to cram everything into your busy lifestyle?
The recovery was okay. I took less damage in the James Hendon fight. But yeah, the busy lifestyle with 2 kids, it's hard. That's why I also don't go to bantamweight anymore, because it's very hard with 2 kids and then cutting weight and all these things. So yeah.
Absolutely. Now, you said that you don't know what's next, but there is a card again in 2 weeks. Could you be ready for that?
I don't think so. I have to get my eye checked in Belgium again, because there was some bleeding into my eye or something, and I wanted to take some rest till the end of the year, maybe fighting early next year or something, because I promised my family to spend some time with them as well.
Okay, thank you.
Julian MMA ohne Maske. Conny, erstmal noch zu dir. Erzähl noch mal so jetzt ein paar Stunden nach dem Kampf, wie schön war es, so die eigene Walk-in-Musik zu hören?
Conrad, could you tell us
Wieder nach 2 Jahren.
what's just a few hours after your fight, what was it like winning after those 2 years? It was an amazing feeling. It's been a while since I last fought, and I felt a lot of support from Poland, Slovakia, and Germany. It's a great feeling. I love it. And it's a relief, too. You said that you might be aiming for Düsseldorf. You had a call-out from Frimpong, too. So would you be interested in a fight like that? We saw some trash talk between you two. Yeah, Düsseldorf sounds good. And when it comes to my opponent, sure, why not? We'll talk about it with my management. But I'm not one to do all that shit around trash talk. That's not for me.
Any more questions?
A question for Monika. We were talking about you moving towards MMA. Oh, now my microphone is working now. Good. Monika, we were talking about you and MMA. You have many titles. Would you be interested in getting the title here in Octagon, getting the belt? Yeah, potentially, yes. It's that thing that I haven't achieved yet, and that attracts me. Thank you. Last question, we have Monika, but we don't have Veronika Smolková. Could you tell us what happened with her? Thank you for this question. I meant to say it at the very top of the conference. Veronika is fine, but she felt some kind of pressure in her eye. She wasn't feeling good, but it's not a serious condition. But she still decided to go back to the hotel and get some rest. So that's what we can say about Veronika. Any other questions?
All right then. So, takže to ukončíme, tu první část. A uvidíme se.
We can now finish the first part of the press conference, and we will see you soon with the main card of Octagon 77, Ondřej Novotný and Pavel Neruda. Thank you for your attention. We'll be back soon.
When he fought in front of local fans in Brno a year ago, He already had his sights set on the greatest prize an Octagon gladiator could win.
Oh, nice uppercut, that really rocked him. Andrei Kalashnikov!
Po narození syna jsem si říkal, že musím zápasit, aby udělal nějaký ty peníze kačky. Aby měl hezký dětství než já.
Andrei Kalashnikov scored victories in his last 3 duels. And now his big moment is almost here.
Pokud se mě bude dařit, tak prostě mu zabezpečím ten dobrý život.
In his hometown, in front of his fans, he'll challenge welterweight champion Jon Dracula Serdu. Brno could witness a total triumph and see their local favourite achieve his dream.
Welterweight Octagon MMA champion!
Serdu will take on his very first title challenger. And you can be sure he'll do whatever it takes to remain the ruler of the division. Vagabond and Dracula are great at finishing their opponents before the limit. And you can look forward to seeing other Czech fighters in thrilling duels. Radek Rošal, Vlado Lengal, and Jakub Donald versus Tomáš Mudrok. Be there and experience a once-in-a-lifetime tournament. Octagon 79. On November 1st at Winning Group Arena Brno. Tickets on sale now at octagonmma.com or watch live on octagon.com. World champions and their emotional stories. An electric atmosphere. An unforgettable experience. Octagon MMA.
Welcome on the second part of the press conference after Octagon 77 here in Bratislava. Welcome everyone. It was a hell of a tournament and the main card was just sick, and the pinnacle of everything was the last fight. Just about the injuries, we have quite a lot. If you want to know, Depape, he was transported to hospital because of the eye injury. Solaya has a broken bone on his thumb. Pirat Kristofic has a It's a most likely just dislocated elbow, but there's still a 30% chance it's a broken disc bone as well. And Shvind has a 40 days stop because of the KO. Regarding and also one of our camera operators dislocated his knee, and he was also transported to hospital. And regarding the Nerda Cup, Fit for You gained 8 points thanks to 2 KOs, and Tip Sport is still the leader.
Also, I lost my voice 4 fights before the end of the tournament. And you didn't mention
Hospital.
No hospital. Work. Tip Sport performance of the night. It was close. Lasto Čepo, congratulations.
Věděl jsem.
I knew you were gonna give it to me.
Pavel Bartoš, obligátní otázka, co uděláš s bonusem?
Pavel Bartoš, question as always, what are you gonna do with the bonus?
Já jdem do Thajska, ano.
Well,
Jdeme do Thajska.
I'm gonna go to Thailand with my family just to relax for the winter.
Super, jenom na konto těch zranění.
Great, just to talk more about the injuries. Kerim isn't here right now and he's injured. Do you think that there's a chance that he might not be able to fight in the finale, and would it be able to be pushed for next year, potentially? Well, I'm open to anything. I want the best finish possible, the best ending possible. But of course we do what we have to do. And this is also a project of Tip Sport. This is a regulated pyramid. And we always try to make it as stable and as just for the guys who are in it. Vlasto, you said that you're getting ready to have a vacation, and I don't want to open up any old injuries, but Matěj Benaz has been the topic for the last few weeks. What do you think? Is there any chance that you will get to see him in the cage, or should we forget about it by now? Just forget about it. I have Ondřej by my right-hand side, and I have always accepted a Matěj Benaz offer, but I've never been able to get him to the cage. And of course, that's his decision, and I have to respect it. Ivan, in the last few weeks, people have been questioning your career. If we were to name all of your fights and belts, it would take a long time, but you've won a lot of things. So do you know what your score is? My score? My whole record? 56 to 10? Well, I don't know. 56 fights and maybe 45 wins and 10 losses? Nice. Well, the numbers I said tonight were better. I think I said 49 to 10 and 1 no contest. No, that's not right? You had no contest? This was your 46th win? Oh my gosh. You don't remember. He was there. Quick question for Ondřej. Vozgren has been a topic since the last tournament. Maybe quite an intense situation. Maybe it got blown out of proportion. But has the situation calmed down, and do we know where we stand right now? I have great relationships with all these people. And that's real. I mean that. And I say that all the time, and it's true. Everybody who gets into that cage under Octagon, I have respect for. And after fights, people get emotional. They're fighting for their lives. And because I've gotten my share of all of that, I don't need to be part of these little quarrels. But the last time I spoke to Frederick Vosgron and his team, I told him I don't need an apology, but I was the person who was on your side even though you walked out of that press conference, and I defended you. So if there is a next time, and when there is a next time, because you will get pissed off, just know that I have understanding for anything that happens, but you should have that too. Of course, we're not happy about the situation because that damages our brand, the Octagon brand. And I'm not happy about somebody telling me that I'm a bad person and sending his fans to fight me. And what I mind the most is when people comment on my family posts with mean comments. And I block those comments. But other than that, I'm made of steel and I can deal with everything. I know where you're heading with this. So the question is, you don't mind. But do you think that your relationship with Matěj Peňaz is broken enough so that you should let him go? Because from Matěj's side, this is not standard behavior from you, what we've seen about Matěj. So is it sort of a toxic relationship? No, not really. I met up with Matěj, and I told him there was enough space for him in my heart. See, this is the story. He starts by tagging me somewhere. So in my podcast, I go, yeah, let's make this happen. Here's Mach, you wanted to go for the title. And he's like, no, I don't want to take Mach because we're friends. Mach doesn't care. He would fight him. And so then he's like, I want to fight in Brno. And then I'm like, okay, take Marek Mazuch. And then I'm sure that he'll take him. But then he's like, I don't want to fight in catchweight. So then I'm like, sorry, dude, I don't know what else to do. So today, I got Mark home to agree to take the Brno fight with Peñas. But it's impossible because of the visa process, because he's from South Africa, and it would take a long time. But then like 10 days ago, I sent that to the coach, and I haven't gotten any response to that. And then I offered the O2 Arena, and he's like, give me Onischuk. But then one of them lost their head against Mach. There's no contract. Then he's trying to tell me this is all about money. That's not true. If you call me and start crying on my shoulder's wide enough for you. But if you tag me in my real life and if you start lying, I have to defend the organization. But it's not about Ondřej Novotný. I don't fucking care. I can deal with this. But we can't let somebody make fools of us. So me and Palo have space for Matěj. We want to see him shine. We want to see him get the belt. We want to let him try get the belt. And we know that the UFC is the holy grail. But he has to realize that if he calls somebody and if he accepts a fight, then that's something he should stand by. And that includes a contract with the UFC. And if he calls the UFC, I will know about it, of course.
Adam Solga, denník Šport. Ja využijem Ivana, on po zápase povedal, že
Ivan said after the fight that he would challenge himself. I know that that's not going to happen because there's no cloning yet. But what do you see for yourself in the near future? You've said many times that you're not chasing after anything, but then you took on fights that had a real wow factor. So what awaits you and what challenges are you looking forward to after 40? That's a good question. And I said that I go with the flow. And I said that I didn't want to fight for the belt. But I'm still in the cage and I still know how to win. I still know how to fight. I'm one of the best. And I think that I've fought for my right to fight for the belt. I don't want to, but I'll have to. You took your son to the cage after the last fight. How does it feel having him see you? Well, I'm excited about having my son there. He's a huge fan. Thank you. Vlasto Čepo, I don't have to ask you about your near future, that's Thailand, but we have Marko Novak, a Slovak fighter who showed several great fights, and today, even though it was overshadowed by some other ones, what's next for you? What are the next steps? What are the next steps? Nothing specific, but I definitely want to have one more fight by the end of the year if I can. And I don't know when or with whom, that's up to the organization, but I do want to have one more before the end of the year. That's gonna be hard, brother, but I'll try to make it happen.
Question for Christoph. First of all, congratulations on the win. We have to address the elephant in the room. Your last two fights, you didn't make weight. What will you change going into the finale?
Hey, what's up, guys? So the first time when I don't make the weights, also my opponent don't make the weights. So we agreed to fight of this fight, and this time I just missed 500 grams. So the whole judge was agreed to fight me, and I show him I do my best, but because first time when I step in the scale I was 85 something, and then I come back after 2 hours and I have just 84 kilo 800, so I just lost for 500 grams. But I promise you guys, for the final I'm gonna have 84 kilo, and the Kerim, he can stop crying.
For the final is championship weight, so it's 83.9. Just to let you know.
What did you think of Kerim's performance? It was quite the war. He took over in the third round. What did you think, and what do you think of a matchup for you?
I think this was what we were waiting for the big bloody war. The guys get a lot of damage, but I was thinking the Kerim can win. And he win, and I'm waiting for him. But I don't know. He's a smart guy, so I don't know if he's gonna fight me.
Frage an Hojat. Natürlich ein harter Kampf gegen eine UFC und PFL-Veteran.
Hojat, this was a tough fight for you against a UFC veteran. So what's next, and when you want to fight next?
Ja, ich bin da zu kämpfen.
I'm here to fight, of course. And anybody who's ready, I'm ready for. I'll take anybody I can get. And I have to say that Dominic Humberger is somebody that I really like. He showed a great performance tonight. He's unbelievable. An unbelievable fighter. I respect him. And I think we could have a brutal war.
What do you think of that? A matchup with Hojat next? Well, I'll ask the promoters then, what do you think of that matchup? That's a big fight.
Yeah, it's not the next fight for them.
It's not the next fight, okay. Different question then to the promoters. You launched the Octagon Fantasy. So far, it looked like it was a big success. Fantasy sports is very popular in the UK with football. It's very popular with the NFL in America. So what was the idea behind it? Do you want to follow that? And why do you think it's going to be such a big success for Octagon?
Yeah, definitely. That's actually, as far as we know, there are just two promotions in the world which has this fantasy league, and we are one of them. And this was like the first tournament, so let's call it like a beta version. So we tested many things, but already we launched the ready-to-use product, and we are very happy. It was thousands of people, actually very good numbers in Germany, so we are very happy about that. And now the fans can. Looking forward for what will be next. For every tournament now we will be involved. You can bet, you can take your fighters at the end of the year. We will pick one ultimate winner, one champion from all of the fans, and the next year it will go on the full throttle. So a lot of fun and a lot of engagement for fans, great prices, and also options for companies to be part of it, to have their own fantasy leagues. So yeah, the product that will develop a lot.
Samuel, MMA fanatik, otázka na Vlasta. Vlastne,
A question for Vlasto Čepo. You said that you were going to Thailand. Could you imagine fighting in the O2 Arena in December as the reserve fighter for the Tipsport Game Changer finale? Well, you can't imagine what I went through this year. I had so many injuries. Everybody said I wouldn't be able to fight even today. Krzysztof, stay calm, please. I was really happy to be able to fight here. I wasn't 100% physically ready, but I'm not going to cry about it because it's my issue. Nobody cares about my own issues. And I just wanted to have a break after this fight until the end of the year. With the beginning of the next year, I'll start preparing and I can start fighting again. Because I'm not here to win €1 million. I'm not fighting for the money. I fight because I like it. If somebody told me I could get €1 million, I wouldn't fight in December. I swear. Yeah, so no fights for me until the end of the year. A question for the promoters. You sold 8,000 to 9,000 tickets. Will there be a Bratislava event next year? Of course there will be. Thank you. Okay, another question. We were talking about Vozgrone. Oh, sorry, just to jump in. We sold between 8,000 and 9,000 tickets. I was kind of sad that there was a weak promo for Bratislava, so now everybody's surprised that the arena wasn't full. But we're promoting Spicy Baja. There are 200 videos for Spicy Baja, but for Bratislava there was no promo. Some people they came to my training and they only show 3 minutes of it for the promo, and then we have hours and hours of Spicy Baja on promo. Of course, I know business is business. I know Ondra has a lot of ideas. He's trying them out. But, you know, it used to be like there were 5 to 6 videos before the fight, and now it's maybe just one video where I only get minute 30. I was sparring with the champion there, and nobody saw that. So, you know, we need to be filming Spicy Pie, and I'm kind of mad about it. Yeah, everybody's pissed, so am I. Hey, this is a message for our video production crew. I know everybody thinks I rule everything here, but Vlasto showed us that it's not the case. We talked about this. So yeah, I'm pissed too. But I don't think we didn't do enough promo for Bratislava, to be honest. Hey, it's tough. It's more and more difficult taking up space online. Now we had an issue with the elections in the Czech Republic because the attention was elsewhere. You all know. You know, it was very difficult to get the messages out because everybody was looking at the elections all the time and all the things around it. There was a football match on Thursday. Yesterday it was the White Night here, 100,000 people watching the light shows here in Bratislava. That's fine. Next week it's Separ's concert, which is sold out. So it's always something. So I'm not gonna cry about it. I think our prices are the best compared to everyone else. So it's still success for us what we sold. So we're not complaining. We were talking about Frederick Vozgrone. And you offered him a fight with Emilio Kisia? Yes, I did. Or did you offer it to him? Of course I did. Okay. One more question for you. We also mentioned it today. So what happens when Jotko doesn't make weight in December and Angizek refuses to fight him? I mean, there are rules for that. The rules say that if he doesn't make weight, we're gonna deduct a point for him for the first round, and then there's a weight limit until which Karen cannot refuse him, and if he doesn't reach that limit, the reserve fight winner will actually step into the fight. And the last question from Marko Novak. Last time you had a loss, or you lost one of the rounds, so what kind of advice did you get that you managed to get the win at the beginning of the third round? I got a short piece of advice. They told me I lost 2 rounds and I need to get a finish, and that's all that was needed.
Či spätne trošku
I'll talk
nelutuje, že v tom
to
treťom
Hojat.
kole vyzeral, že stále má silu, stále má energiu, že nezatlačil do Krištofa
It
trochu viac.
seemed that you still had energy in the third round, so why didn't you push more in the third round against Christoph?
Doch, schadet auf jeden Fall. Aber
Yeah, I am kind of sorry about it. I regret
ja,
it.
ich habe alles gegeben. Vielleicht konnte ein Tick
But
mehr machen.
I gave it my all. Maybe I could have done a little bit more. That, you know, it's like that every time, but this is the way it went. Jotko gave a great performance. I was happy with the weight. I wanted to fight him no matter what. And I had a lot of appetite for fighting him in the cage. And I thought I could fight anyone. So I was fine with that weight. Yeah, of course, congratulations to him. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm happy for him, that's it.
Myslím, že to bola situácia, keď si ho trafil do slabín svojho supera.
There was a situation when you got a cup shot. Then Engizek had some time to get a breather. Did you think that you could maybe get the win or turn the fight in your benefit? Yeah, of course, the cup shot probably helped him. I also got one during the fight. I also needed a breather. It really got me stiff. Yeah, that was a breaking point. I could feel that I could defeat him, but yeah, my feet just got slow. The preparation was the way it was. This is my fourth fight this year. It's the same with Chepo. I wasn't 100% physically. So yeah, I'm really sorry about the result, because this was the most important fight in my life against the champion, and the preparation, the camp was the worst I ever had. So that's the way it is. Thank you. And now a question for Krzysztof. You always win in dominant performances. Do you think that we will get a more attractive fight in the final than this, what we saw in the semifinal? Perhaps you could show a finish to the fans.
I tried to finish today. I tried the left high kick. I even tell to Andre I'm gonna knock him out with the left high kick, but Hojat is a tough guy, a real warrior, and it's not happens this time. But I don't know if Karim don't gonna pull up the fight. So let's show up in first, and then we can talk about the fight.
Ďakujem, otázka na Bukiho. Ty si mi spomínal, že bol lepší, než si čakal, tak v čom konkrétne bol lepší, než si očakával?
Your opponent was better than you expected, so in what ways? Well, he got me to the ground very quickly. I like fighting on the ground, so I didn't mind that. But he could really hold me down on the ground, and I really couldn't move under him. So yeah, so I was quite lost there for a second. And the last question for the promoters. We're nearing the end of the next season of Tips for Game Changer, so how would you rate the quality that you were able to deliver this year?
Za mě je to asi vrchol vlastně toho, co jsme zatím předvedli.
I think this was the peak of what we were able to do so far. We're seeing amazing stories. Hojat had 4 fights on reserve fights. Dominic, who's been with us for 7 months, maybe even less. He fought for the first time in Karlovy Vary, and today he was 1 strike from a win. He shot up to the top 100 in the world. Look at Krzysztof, what he's doing, his performances. Get him as well, you know, delivering and still being a unique champ, you know, getting back from hell after a huge knockdown. So I think this is the strongest season we've had so far. We've had the craziest fights, and it's really a pity that the crazy El Chapo actually was injured after his first fight and couldn't continue. Anyway, Jamie, he was also going through the reserve fights. It really gave us a huge strength in the 84 kilo category, and it really worked well. This is such an attractive weight category, and we expected it, and it really delivered. You can see it, the fans are watching it, they're really connected to it, they're connected to the gradation of the pyramid. It's unique, and this year really worked perfectly, and it's not over yet. We can still enjoy the final, and that's gonna be amazing. We saw it in the cage during the face-off between Kerim and Jutko. That was amazing. The final is gonna be amazing. Thank you for the answers and for the tournament.
Julian Maske, Frage an Daniel Schwind. Erstmal Riesenrespekt für diesen Kampf.
A question for Daniel Schwind.
Wie war der
A lot of respect for what you showed in the cage. So what was your game plan, and what changed during the fight that in the end you actually went into the brawl? Well, the game plan was different, let me tell you that. But people who know me, they also know that I like to get into a fight, and Chepo also does. We had a different game plan. We wanted to keep a longer distance. I wanted to keep a longer distance and really work more with my kicks, but Chepo didn't allow me to do that. He was pressuring me all the time.
Kannst du trotzdem so ein
And then
paar
it was over.
Schlüsse aus diesem Kampf ziehen?
100%.
Could you tell us some positives about the fight? What are you taking away?
Frage an
We will see that
Jamie.
next time.
Sieg,
Now a question
zwar
for
durch
Jamie.
Verletzung, aber am Ende des Tages steht da ein TKO-Sieg. Erzähl mal jetzt so ein paar Stunden später,
You gotta
wie
win,
nimmst
even
du
though
jetzt
there was an
diese
injury to
Szene wahr
Christoph.
mit Pirat seinem
After
Ellbogen?
a few
Wie siehst du die
hours,
Situation jetzt?
what do you think about the situation with the elbow?
Nichtsdestotrotz
Well,
war es trotzdem meine Leistung.
I'm really sad about it.
dahin gebracht hat,
I feel
wirklich
sorry for him, but
das ist meine
still,
das ist meine
I
Position.
managed to
Wir
get
haben
the win
viel
through
gefühlt,
my
viel
own
Training.
performance.
Selbst wenn das nicht mit dem Arm passiert
This
wäre,
was
das ist
one of the
meine
positions I was
Position,
really
Pound,
drilling,
Ellbogen,
and
für
even if
diverse
the
Positionen,
injury didn't
diverse
happen
Submission, das ist
to
genau
his
meine Position.
elbow, I
Ich
think
find's
I
einfach
would
schade,
still
dass ich
get
nicht
the
mehr
win, because
zeigen
this is
konnte
the
in dem
position
Moment,
that
dass
I'm
ich
very
zeigen
good
konnte,
at.
dass ich ihn auch da dominiert hätte.
I'm sorry I couldn't show
Das
more.
ärgert mich einfach
I couldn't
so
show
ein bisschen.
more of a
Ich
dominant
hoffe,
performance,
wie
and I'm
gesagt,
really
das ist
annoyed
eine
about that.
Scheißverletzung und ich hoffe, er erholt sich schnell. Nichtsdestotrotz hätte ich gerne
It's a
gezeigt, dass
stupid injury. I hope he
anders
gets
besiegt
well
hätte,
soon.
wirklich mit Ground and Pound ein richtiges
But
K.O.
still,
geschafft
I
hätte.
really wanted to show that I could
Aber,
finish him,
wie
that I
gesagt,
could get
ich
the
hoffe,
win
er erholt
in
sich
different
schnell. Ich hoffe, das ist
ways,
jetzt keine schlimme Verletzung. Also,
be it ground and
dass er
pound
schnell
or
gesund wird.
any other method.
Und ich hoffe, dass
But
ich
now
dann,
I hope he really gets well
irgendwann nächstes Mal
and
nochmal richtig
recovers.
zeigen kann,
And
was ich
maybe we could get a rematch, or I could show a better
Das ist
performance
mein
some
11.
other
Kampf,
time.
glaube ich, bei Octagon. 11. Kampf. Ich glaube, ich bin einer
As
der
I said, this
Deutschen,
is
der am
my
meisten kämpft.
11th
Dafür
fight here with Octagon. One of the most
brauche ich noch ein
experienced
bisschen
Octagon fighters
mehr
from Germany.
Respekt da draußen.
So I think I
Du warst
deserve
immer so ein
even
bisschen
more
unglücklich
respect
mit
from the
dieser
outside.
Reserverolle im Tipps for Game Changer. Jetzt warst du aber wieder der Reservekämpfer. Kannst du dir auch
Yeah,
vorstellen,
you were
im
quite
Finale
unlucky
der
because you're
Reservekämpfer
always
zu
on
sein,
the
beziehungsweise
reserve
einen
fights.
Reservekampf zu machen?
So, do you think
Also
that'll
ich sag
continue
mal
for
so,
you?
diese Game Changer hat mich jetzt auch für diesen Kampf nicht mehr interessiert. Was mich interessiert hat, war
Yeah,
die
Tipsport Game
Piratskämpfe.
Changer.
Das war, was für mich interessant war.
I don't really
War es
worry
egal, ob
about
ich
it too
Reservekämpfer
much right
bin
now.
oder
What I
nicht.
was worrying or thinking
Ich hätte
about
gern
was
von Anfang an wäre ich
fighting
gern dabei gewesen,
Krzysztofic.
hätten
I don't care
trainiert.
if it was a reserve
Paar
fight
Sachen
or
sind
not.
nicht gelaufen.
I would have preferred to have been in the Game Changer from the very beginning,
Nichtsdestotrotz,
but I was quite
wie
unlucky
gesagt,
about
Im
certain
Finale
things.
würde ich sofort einspringen, logischerweise.
But still,
Ob ich nochmal einen
I
Reservekampf
would like
mache,
to
weiß ich
jump
nicht.
into
Ich
the
habe sehr
final,
viele
of
Sachen dieses
course.
Jahr, die ich klären muss.
But this year I still
Ja,
have other
mal
things that I
schauen.
need to manage. So we'll
Danke
see.
dir. Dann letzte Frage
We'll
an die
see how it goes.
Promoter. Ich glaube, Kerim hat einen bösen Cut in der Mitte vom Gesicht. Wenn
A
er
question
nicht
for the
antreten
promoters.
kann im
Karen
in
seems to have
Prag,
an injury
habt ihr
somewhere
irgendwelche Pläne für
on
die
his face.
Zukunft? Kann
So
es sein, dass
what
das Finale
happens if
verschoben
he
wird
is
oder
unable to
muss-
compete in Prague in
muss
the
das
O2
Finale an
Arena?
dem
Could we
Tag stattfinden?
postpone the final, or do we have to have the final at the O2 Arena?
No, we already speak about it before that there's like a lot of options. We need to talk also about it. There's some rules, but also like some free ways how to do it. So like right now we don't know how big it is, so we will see it. And also we need to speak with our partner Tipsport, which is like in charge of this also. So, but like I said, we want to keep it for the best fighters through the whole year, and it would be really sad if Kerim and Krzysztof couldn't fight together. Yeah. Okay, that was it. Somebody else?
Môžem
Yes.
otázku? Otázka na Dominika.
Question for Dominic. This was your third fight in the Octagon cage, so how would you say it went, and do you like it better than the KSW?
Už jsme se na sebe před chvilkou usmáli.
We were smiling at each other a moment ago, so I was expecting you to ask me a question. Were you expecting something different?
Děkuji za otázku.
Thank you for the question.
Jo, mně se tady líbí, je to určitě
Well, I really like the organization because overall, the hype that's around it, the way that I'm more visible, more seen, that the opponents are more interesting. When I was in a different organization, I didn't really know the name of the champ of my own division, so I'm enjoying this, and I don't remember the rest. Lady? This is the second part of the question. Do you like it better? Yes, for sure. So I have answered this. Thank you.
Jedna otázka na Čepa.
Question for Vlasto Čepo.
Už si to spomenul Spicy Paju.
You've talked about Spicy Baya, so what do you think about the celebrity series? I understand. That's enough. I understand what you're asking.
Teraz zase akože ja osobne proti nemu
Well,
nemám nič.
I
Ja si
personally
myslím, že
have
on to
nothing
hráve
against the
naozaj
guy.
tak.
I
Určite
don't
to
know.
hra nemôže byť taký. A ďalšia vec, hovorím, že
Well,
Ondro s Palom, oni vždycky
Ondřej
vymyslia
and
niečo, že
Palo,
aj keď
they
všetci ľudia na
always
to
come
nadávajú,
up
tak
with
si to zapnú a
something
budú si vidia, ako Andres porazí.
that people
Len
are
si
going to
myslím,
tune in
že
for, even
je to
if
možno
they
nefér
talk crap about
oproti
it.
tým ostatným
And
naozaj
I hope that
fighterom,
Andres
že nemajú toľko
gets the
mediálneho
win, or
priestoru,
he
jak
has to.
niekto, čo ide do Love Islandu a tak ďalej.
And
Hovorím, že ja nehodnotím
of course,
nikoho,
the people
nesúdim,
who can't go into
ale
Love Island,
nemôže byť každý tretí post o ňom.
I'm not
a aj
judging.
tak to je využiteľné koľkokrát Spicy Pie. On bude
But
robiť kariéru,
how
bude mať jeden zápas a
often
končí.
can we use Spicy Baya? He's going to have that
veľa
one fight,
priestoru a
and then he
málo
has to end with Octagon. So that's going to give him some space, but that's a lot of effort for very little music.
Na to mám názor tak, že nemám proti
So
tomu nič,
that's
ale
my
sú tu
opinion.
iní fighteri,
Nothing
ktorí
against it,
môžu
but there are
rásť
other
a sú
fighters
kvalitní
that
a
could be fighting,
Marko
and
napríklad,
there are
Cigon,
quality
Cigon a
fighters
tak,
like
a nemajú
Marko
toľko
Novák
toho priestoru,
or
ani ľudia
Cigánik.
nepoznajú, nevedia, aké majú životy a tak ďalej.
And we
Alebo
don't
Spicy
know
Pie
what
vedia,
these
čo je na raňajke, na
lives,
večeru, takže
what
to
lives these people are leading, but we know a shit ton about Paya. Why?
Žiadny prínos do MMA
So
vlastne?
you don't think that this helps the MMA
Aj zlé veci niektoré
scene at
sa
all?
obrátia na dobre. Možno to
Well,
zase niekto z
some
mladých uvidí a
weird things turn
možno
into
sa
good things, so
bude chcieť
it's possible that a
vydať tou
young
cestou
person
MMA
sees this and
zápasníka.
it inspires them to take up MMA,
Všetky
and that would be
plusy-
good.
Všetky minusy majú aj plusy takisto, čiže
So
ja neviem
every
ohodnotiť, či to
con
je
has a
tak,
pro,
ale hovorím,
and
oproti
vice
fighterom
versa.
naozaj s ním je to také,
And
že dostáva priestoru veľa.
he just gets so much space for self-expression compared to the other fighters.
Akože mne
And
to
he's
osobne vadí, ja
everywhere.
nechcem
He's
byť
plastered
známy,
all
nechcem
over
to
my
byť na tom
socials,
a
and I don't want to be
sleduješ môj
famous.
Instagram,
I
tak
don't want to
vidíš,
be
že ja
everywhere. And
pridám
if you
najmenej
know
zo
my
všetkých, nemám
Instagram,
sponzorov.
you know that I
Pár
don't have
ľudí, ktorí sa
sponsors.
pripojili od začiatku a
I don't do
ani
sponsor
nevyhľadávam,
posts.
nenosím
I'm not
plachtový,
looking
takže
for
mne to je úplne
any
jedno, len hovorím, kvôli druhým fighterom
sponsors
viem,
or
koľko do toho
ads.
dávajú a koľko
But I know how much
obetujú a
effort all
nemajú
these
z toho
other
moc
fighters are
peňazí,
putting
ale
into it,
hovorím, ja
and
keď
they
budem
have
organizátor
little
alebo
to no
niekedy, tak ja
space
budem robiť podľa seba
for
a nechcem
advertising
robiť ako
themselves.
závodné.
Predstaviť byť
Can you imagine being the promoter or the
Radšej
organizer?
by som chcel mať kľudnejší život ako toto.
Well,
organizátor,
I
keby
would like a
chlapí
calmer
riešiť
life
všetko
than
to,
that of
ukázal
an
som to,
organizers
že
because
vidia len ten
that's a
celkový
life
výsledok,
of
ale nevedia,
a lot
čo
of
je všetko
rush
za tým.
because
Ešte
you
keď
see
máte
the
len
result, but you
fighterov,
don't know
ktorí
how much it
60 rušia
takes.
zápasy, takže to im
And of course,
šlak
you're
trafí.
talking about fighters
Tým som nenarážal na
canceling
nikoho, že
67 fights in a row,
viem, že
and
na čo
that's tough.
myslíte hneď, ale fakt som to
So,
nemyslel teraz
and this was not
nehovorím celkovo,
intended to offend anybody. I know your mind went there, but I'm talking about any organization. Thank you.
To ja som dá reči, no, ale naučil som sa. Ináč,
I learned about this.
každý by ste si mali pozrieť môj podcast a dať
You
odber,
each
takže
should
díky,
listen to my podcast.
díky, že si mi
So
pripomenul.
thank you for
To je
reminding me.
najlepší podcast. A on
And
19
subscribe.
krát ma odmietol, takže tak aj ja budem robiť
And
zápasy, keď
he
bude
turned me
pobúkať.
down 19 times, so
Já jsem několikrát to přijal a ty jsi nemohl.
I've accepted several times,
Ja
but
som
you didn't
došiel
have
do Prahy
time.
za tebou a si povedal, že
I
nemôžeš,
went to
takže
Prague to see
teraz
you, and
máš
you
možnosť
said you didn't
zajtra
have
alebo v
time. So
pondelok to
now
máš.
you have the opportunity
nemůžeš
tomorrow.
přijít a říct, že
But
já
you can
můžu pryč,
just
vole.
come to me and say, I have free time now.
Question for the promoters. Got two. The lightweight title's been out of circulation for the full year. Now it's clear that we're sort of getting the title fight closer and closer. So has Bucky done enough tonight with that to be in for the title shot next? Is that the one?
No, yeah, in English. You will be surprised, but we will announce it something very soon. And about Bucky, if he wants to fight for the title next, then he's got it. That's for sure.
What about the featherweight division? Were we going to have any announcements on that soon? Because that's been out of circulation for this year as well.
Yeah, I think yes. Also, we got, I believe, title fight in progress now.
Brilliant. And while we're on the game changer subject as well, what is the plan for next year? I know you obviously not going to reveal anything, but we've seen 2 more brilliant women's fights tonight, and that's growing more and more and more. You are at the forefront of women's MMA. So is it possible that we'd see a women's game changer, possibly open weight class?
Open weight class. Like, do you really want to see open weight class tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah. Between girls, like, I think it's like nonsense. It's not possible. There is a weight class because there's a reason for weight class, yeah. So you can really take a girl from strawweight with somebody which from bantamweight. Definitely not with the girls. Like sometimes boys, they can travel, but for the girls it's almost not possible. And even if we will do open weight class, it's gonna be really tough to get 20 girls for start. Yeah, there was a time when Bellator buy them all, and it was a really sad time because they didn't fight. Now many of the girls are in PFL, I believe. They're also not fighting that much. So one thing is promise somebody big money and a lot of fights, and the other thing is to deliver it. So it's not easy with the girls. So I don't see it as a possible at all.
Okay, one more question. Will Fleuret and Martin Boudet, when will we see an announcement for the heavyweight championship?
Next week.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
Jiří Barta, MMA Voznovský, já bych začal u Bukyho. Buky, mě by zajímalo, s čím jsi šel do toho 3. kola, když jsi věděl, že první se prohrál a v druhém se dostal minus bod za držení
What
saklace.
did you go into the third round with, knowing you lost the previous ones and you also lost a point? I knew that I had to kill my opponent, otherwise I would lose the fight.
Pokračoval bych u promotérů.
Question for the promoters. Dan Ligotsky told me that he wants to stay active and that he wants to fight in Brno. Could he go against Peñas? Are you Dan Ligotsky's new manager? Well, no, not yet.
No, tak já nevím, má
I don't know. Maybe he has the wrong phone number. He should be calling me.
Jasně, já to vím.
Well, I know, yeah.
Chceme něco.
We all want something.
Já jsem Danovi něco dovolil,
I let Dan do something. I gave him a gift. So we'll see if we can make a deal and if we can talk about Brno or not. It's more complicated. You can't give everybody everything they want. Last question. We talked about Vlasta Čepa's podcast, but now seriously, there are fighters who we should get to know better. So who do you think should be on that podcast in the near future? Whose story is worth hearing? A lot of people have an interesting story behind them. A lot of people don't know, but I've had a few fighters who went through extremely hard childhoods, growing up in bad environments without parents. So I don't know anybody from the foreign fighters, but I want to see Dominik Humburger. As far as Czech and Slovak fights, he's a real warrior and warrior at heart. So I want to talk to him. And that's just that. But you can let me know who you'd like to see. Was that a threat?
No, jinak já bych chtěl vyzvat všechny
And I also want to challenge all the fighters across all the countries. Vlasto is saying one thing, we should know more about you. So it's not about us shooting things, but about you promoting yourself. This is show business. You should be putting your name out there, and look what we did with Dominic, but he went in the direction of letting us happen that. Marco, I love Marco. His third fight, I was the host for that, and I try and push him. But if the fighter doesn't give you that effort back, and not every fighter's like that, then it's not possible to promo you. It's not like you don't want to write about them. And I try my best, but I can't promo 240 fighters equally. And I think that's clear. And both parties have to try. Last thing, Hojat Kajevan's story. I saw Paulo Neruda tell that story, and that made me feel some true respect for that guy. Even though we speak different languages, maybe we could make it happen with an interpreter. Or I can try and learn German, or he could learn Czech. That was it.
Ešte jednu otázku, keď môžem.
Tak, last question, really.
Ďakujem
last
pekne.
one.
Tá bude mierená priamo na Vlasta. V prvom rade by som chcel ešte pogratulovať
Question for Vlasto Čepo. Thank you for raising the roof of the arena. Kerim Engizek was the fans' vote for the fantasy. Vlasto, you got a 23% guess rate that you were going to finish your opponent with a KO. But you are the guy who finishes, so what do you think about that number? I haven't been very active in the last 2 years. And I've fought once in the last 2 years, so I know that people forget. So I wasn't in the public eye. I'm not doing a lot on Instagram. It's not my style. But I've overshot everybody at striking. I've bested everybody. So it doesn't pay off to try and strike with me. And I know that it's a big risk, but I don't plan on changing anything about my strategy. And that percentage, as far as scare, makes sense. It makes sense what the fans voted for and what they thought. But because Slovakia is a small country, and if Vlasto sends us photos from Thailand with Lucia, we will happily promo them. And we're looking forward to it already.
To you guys, and congratulations to all the fighters. Incredible night. We will see you in Cologne in 2 weeks. Thank you.
When he fought in front of local fans in Brno a year ago, he already had his sights set on the greatest prize an Octagon gladiator could win.
Oh, nice uppercut, that really rocked him. Andrei Kalashnikov!
Po narození syna jsem si říkal, že musím zápasit, aby udělal nějaký ty peníze, kačky. Aby měl hezký dětství než já.
Andrei Kalashnikov scored victories in his last 3 duels. And now his big moment is almost here.
Pokud se mě bude dařit, tak prostě mu zabezpečím ten dobrý život.
In his hometown, in front of his fans, he'll challenge welterweight champion Jon Dracula Serdu. Brno could witness a total triumph and see their local favorite achieve his dream.
New welterweight Octagon MMA champion!
Serdu will take on his very first title challenger. And you can be sure he'll do whatever it takes to remain the ruler of the division. Vagabond and Dracula are great at finishing their opponents before the limit. And you can look forward to seeing other Czech fighters in thrilling duels. Radek Rošal, Vlado Lengal, and Jakub Donald versus Tomáš Mudrok. Be there and experience a once-in-a-lifetime tournament. Octagon 79. On November 1st at Winning Group Arena Brno. Tickets on sale now at octagonmma.com or watch live on octagon.tv. Octagon Fantasy, Europe's first official MMA fantasy league. Free for all fans. Register. Choose 3 fighters. Earn points. Win prizes. And unforgettable experiences. Start playing right now. Free on octagonmma.com/fantasy. Octagon Fantasy League. Who will you choose?